Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. Welcome along to the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy League F3 PS4 and the 20th round of the season, which takes us to the Brazilian Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGidley, and joining me in the commentary box is Mr. Austin Smith. Austin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, Kieran. Welcome, everyone. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm very excited about the championship. 11 points in it between the top two drivers, with I believe Aero leading the way. So it's basically now, Austin, crunch time. There's no room for errors heading into the final two rounds of the season. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it is very unlikely, and that's the most beautiful thing about this. It's very unlikely that the championship is decided here tonight, but we may have our prequel, if you will, our first part of the decision. If Aero gets a good result here, there's a good chance that he will crown himself champion at Abu Dhabi.
And that is what it's all about. That's what all the drivers have been waiting for. It's 19 rounds completed, 2 rounds to go. We have Brazil tonight, we will have Abu Dhabi next week. And really now, this is when nerves can start to get the better of the drivers. This is when drivers who can perform well under pressure start to shine. Their pressure doesn't affect them. I know for me, Austin, pressure does affect me. I'm not one of those drivers who takes it well, under pressure. I'd rather be in second place going into the final race than leading the way, because in second place you've got nothing to lose.
That is certainly true, and in Johan's case, who is second in the championship right now with, as you said, only 11 points behind, he's in an even better position because those 11 points effectively mean that he can win the championship under his own power. All he needs to do is win the last 2 races, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing, Benidorm could do. Even if he gets second place and the fastest lap both times, Johan would win the championship by 1 point.
And of course, just to clarify that Benidorm is his name in the standings. He races under Aero in the season now up until the end. It's always annoying when they change their. I'm going to change my name. I'm Sean from now on until the end of the season. Yeah. There you go. Hopefully you're looking forward to this. Make sure as well you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are only about. Oh, I was going to use my fingers and say this far away, but you get the idea. We're not very far.
This far away.
We're only this far away. Yeah. You don't know how far away we are, but we're so close to 12,000 subscribers. So subscribe down below. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we go live. And well, Austin, we come to Brazil, a track that's got plenty of history, a track that's been shortened down dramatically since its debut in the 80s, and it's still one of the great tracks, one of the classic tracks on the calendar, and it seems like drivers come here loving this track.
Yeah, it used to be around. Oh, that's a really good one. Now I think about 10 kilometers long. Basically, what the drivers used to do is they drove 2 laps in one, if you will. So they had, as you have now, the Senna S, then turn 3, then you go across the back straight. Reto Posta is actually translates to back straight, and then going into turn 4 into Descida do Lago. That turn used to be a lot tighter, and it sort of wrapped around back towards the Senna S, and then it came around for another. There was another kind of labyrinth, another kind of section that we kind of see now between turns 6 and 13. This really tight, twisty section, and then it wrapped around again to come back out on the exit of Descida do Lago of turns 4 and 5, and then it took the route that we are driving on now, from turns 5 and 6 on all the way to the start-finish straight.
And so it turns into a race which had to be shortened down, but Nevertheless, it's still got us a track that's plenty of undulation in the track as well. As you go through the centre S, it's downhill on towards the back straight, towards turns 5 and 6, and you're going up the hill, and the track actually gets to its narrowest point as you exit turn 6, I believe it is. Oh no, turn 5 it would be going up the hill towards turn 6. That's the narrowest part of the track, and I mean, if you want to go too wide through there, side by side, do it at your own risk. That's what I would say.
Yeah, there are a couple of spots on the track where going too wide can be risky, but it can also work out. Centres, obviously, we've seen some great battles there. If you think back to Schumacher versus Montoya round the outside, that was an absolutely insane overtake, and the banking of the Centres, the fact that it does fall down as you go through it, does allow for these kinds of moves. And then obviously turn 2 being a right-hander coming right afterwards does help your case as well if you're stuck on the outside to make that move happen. However, if you do try to overtake into the center S, don't do it like Max Verstappen attempted on a lapping on who was it again? Was it Ocon?
It was Ocon, yeah.
It was Ocon,
into the center S, yeah. Yeah, you could back out because you know the back mark's on the softer tyres, but I digress. We are here then for qualifying, 18 minutes of it with a kind of overcast sky. The sun's peeking through, so what that could mean is the track might be slightly cooler in places than the drivers might have actually practiced with.
Yeah, and that could be crucial here in qualifying. It's gonna take down or rather take up the expected pole time quite a bit. Making it slower, if you will, because the track temperature doesn't give the tires that much grip, and especially in the tighter, twistier section from turn 6 from Ferradura on all the way to Jungsao to turn 13, you need that grip. You don't need it as much on the outer part. You could almost call it an oval. It's really not, but it's so fast with only a couple corners in between. And if you made the connection from turn 4 to turn 13, you could almost turn this whole track into an oval. But and then you have the infield from turn 4 to 13. But yeah, this could be interesting. However, the sun does shine through quite a bit. I'm on board with Slimbo right now, and yeah, you could see the sun come through. There are some clouds, but I think the track temperature is rather high.
Yeah, I think so, as we now make our way in towards the third sector of this track, making our way now down the hill here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, on now towards turns 12 here, the last heavy braking zone of the circuit here, in before one of us calls it the last corner of the track, because it's misleading in that way. It's full throttle now all the way to the start-finish line as we ride on board with the Ferrari, widest entry possible on towards the start-finish line through the final corner of turn 15, and then you're braking hard now as the track cambers away from you on braking. It's very easy to lock up a front wheel as we make our way now through that long turn 3 through the center S, then in a short run down towards turn 4. Again, the track going downhill towards turn number 4 at the end of that DRS zone, then through turn 5. Watch out for the curb on the exit there. Can easily spin the car around. Narrow spot of the track here as we head through turn 6, down a gear, down another into 5th place as you now go through turn 7. Now braking hard for turn 8, using that curb on the left hand side to widen your entrance in towards the corner. Now making our way through turn 9. Be careful here, you can overcommit through turn 9. Slow in, fast out. Now heading towards turn 10, probably the tightest corner on the track here. Watch out for the traction. The track cambers away from you as you accelerate down in towards turn 11 and then towards turn 12. Use plenty of that right hand side to open up the corner. Now full throttle here as we get onto the curb. Very easy to spin up the rear tyres, but it's full throttle now. Try and keep the steering as light as possible. Make as few movements with the steering wheel as possible now for the shortest run towards the line, and crossing the start finish line here. Slimbo sets a 108.2 as the first lap time in qualifying.
Yeah, and that's already a good, not a great lap time, as we see Marco Krisman post a 108.0 here, and I reckon we are going to drop into the 107s with the drivers here, certainly. Let's see who else. Johan coming through. And he also posts a 108.0 just behind Marco Grisman. That's a 40th of a second between the two. That's incredible. Absolutely nothing. Try to stop that with a stopwatch.
Well, here comes Aero then, championship leader, heading into these last two races in the Toro Rosso. What lap time can he set then as he makes his way towards the start-finish line? 108.6 there, which puts him at the bottom of the running right now. Maybe must have made a mistake on that lap, because that doesn't seem like his normal pace.
It doesn't seem like his normal pace, but from what I've heard from him, I've talked to him before the race a little bit, or before qualifying a little bit, his pace here at the Brazilian Grand Prix isn't really on par with what we are used from him. Seems like he doesn't gel with this track, and this might be his pace, and I'm not sure. I haven't taken a look at his lap, and now he's obviously on a cooldown lap, probably onto the way. On his way into the pits, and but yeah, I think this might be his pace for this race, which really doesn't bode well for the championship for him. It does bode well for the championship for us, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It opens it up if that is the case. But Alex Musica now making his way through turn 11 onwards now towards the third sector and in towards turn 12. And the third sector is a bit of a weird one, Austin, because there's really only one braking point and then it's a full throttle all the way through. So you get to see what your lap times are, pretty much full throttle. Here we go then with Alex Musica towards the start-finish line in the McLaren. What sort of lap time? Well, he sets a 111.4, but it doesn't count. So there you go. You can see he's going again, trying to get the battery recharged as much as possible. And that's the other thing as well, with turn 12 being so early, with the last braking point, ERS management here is so important, because there's not many heavy braking zones. If they are, they're all in the second sector, so you can sort of turn down the battery or the deployment to try and save your battery up a bit, but you've got to be so careful about where you use it and how much you use.
Yeah, I think the key here is going to be that you use your battery in the first sector. You do get a bit back into the center S, obviously, but other than that, you use it in the third sector as well. You really turn it up as soon as you exit turn 12. As soon as you go out there, you put it up to hot lap mode, and then you just let it rip for as long as you need to during the race. In qualifying, obviously, all the way to the finishing line. But in the race, you try to use it as much as you can and need to, really. And then you gradually, over the course of the long straight, you gradually shift down your ERS deployment from overtake to high, to medium, to low, and at the very end, to none. Because once you're up to speed, you don't need much more ERS deployment. You really only need it at the beginning of a straight, because every bit of power that you don't use at the start of a straight is going to cost you time. Because others, it multiplies over the course of the whole straight. And that's why I would say turn 12 also is the most important corner on this track. Because you have the longest straight coming up right after, and the exit of turn 12 is so important.
Alex Musica now approaching turn 12 as he makes his way through, and I think he's backed out of this lap, has he? Well, he's still got deployment on fire, so that is hot lap mode as he makes his way through, but he's not got a lot of ERS battery left. But no, he does pull in towards the pit lane. As we saw there, Zenki gets P4 at the moment. Cruzman then is on a flying lap right now through sector 2. He's 7 thousandths of a second up on his previous best now as he makes his way in towards sector 3 now, 1/10 up. So a possible 107 is on the cards here for Cruzman as he makes his way up the gears now through the final few corners, through 14 now, and then towards turn 15, onwards towards the start-finish line. Can Cruzman get into those 107s? You bet he can. A 107.7 from the McLaren. You've also got, I believe that's a Ferrari of Slimbo on an outlap there. Johan making his way towards the line as he now, I think, did he post a lap time there? I'm not quite sure.
Johan? Yes, he did. 107.9.
Oh,
he did improve, but only slightly, only just over a tenth. Here comes Aero, takes the shortest run, 108.4. Moves up to P6, past Pit Mad, but he's still a long way off the top two, a long way off of Marco Krisman and Johan. That's half a second to Johan, and let me do the maths here for a bit. 6.5 tenths to Marco Krisman. That is not what he's looking for. Aero really struggling, and I have been on board with him for this lap to see if he makes any mistakes. He really doesn't. I think what might get him here on this track is the lack of natural braking markers. You have some tracks where it's really easy to remember where you want to brake into a corner. Here, it's really tough because you don't have that many brake markers. You have, usually you have these kinds of like boards, 100 board, 50 board, those kinds of things, and you do have that into the final corner. There's the 100 board on the left side. But other than that, you don't have that much here on this track, and that makes it really, really hard for some of these drivers to know when they have to brake. They have to find something to get orientation, but really, really tough. Meanwhile, Tableclan just overtakes Johan, moves up to second place. So we have 3 of the 4 championship contenders in the top 3 spots right now here in qualifying.
It's always great to see as well. Let us know as well who you are supporting in the chat tonight. Lots of support for Krisman out there, as well as Aero and Tableclan. Let us know who you're supporting here tonight. 7 minutes and 42 seconds to go. Krisman's still on provisional pole as Tableclan gets well out of the way of the car behind him of Slimbo. It's Johan in third. Slimbo there is in fourth. Zenki fifth. Chiquita in sixth with Aero seventh. Pitman in eighth. Yoka in ninth with Jamie James, Gabri and Alex Musica all yet to set a lap time here in qualifying.
Yeah, with 7 minutes 20, remember the lap time, as you can see, is one of the shortest on the calendar, only a minute 7 here. It is a very short track and a very short lap. The drivers still have plenty of time to do so. So for Jamie James, Gabri and Alex Musica, it is not nearly time to panic. However, they need to be on their toes now. They need to have a plan, really. They need to know what they're doing. With 7 minutes left, you only have so many chances, and you need to use at least one of them.
Absolutely. Well, Alex Musica, get a little bit tail happy there. Out of turn 10 through 11 he goes, and onwards towards turn 12. Up the hill he'll go now, full throttle all the way now, all the way through the gears. And let's see if he can post a lap time here at the Brazilian Grand Prix here in qualifying. Again, trying to make it the shortest run to the line possible, as he sets, what's he set, a 108.4, which puts him into ninth place, 108.464, which actually isn't too far away from pit map there.
Yeah, and as you said that Alex Musica got a little tail happy out of turn 10, I was watching Zenki, who just came out of turn 2, and also got a little tail happy. It was very, very synchronous, I hope is the word.
Synchronized?
Synchronized, yeah. It was basically at the exact same moment that he was sliding, and he instantly aborted his lap. So he's now preparing. He's on hot lap mode, going through the final corner, picking up a little bit of dirt on his right front tire. Not a good idea, but he's going to lose that over the course of this long straight, and so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And now he's going to try again on the slightly minimally used soft tires. Zenki on another run, currently P5, 108.2, half a second behind Marco Krisman. This time not so tail happy through the center S, and onto the back straight into Descida del Lago. He is slightly faster, but less than a tenth his improvement so far. But this is where it counts right now, second sector. This is where you can gain and lose most of the time. Through Ferradura, long right-hander. It never ends, and it's blind as well because it goes over a crest really hard. But the drivers know it well, and so does Zenki, obviously. Now into turn 10. Really, really difficult. It's easy to lose the back end on the exit there. Turn 11 goes full speed, then turn 12, Junsao Good exit here. Yes, early on the throttle. That should bode well for his lap time. And from here, it's a sprint. Still has ERS deployment to the very end. Timed it perfectly. And it is P2. That's perfect ERS management as well on this lap. And he's only behind Marco Krisman by 34 milliseconds. Never mind, Marco Krisman comes across the line to instantly pull himself up ahead even further, 107.6. So the gap now to Zenki is, well, 10th and a half, bit more than a 10th and a half.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. Krisman is 4th place in the championship right now, 34 points behind the championship leader of Aero. He needs to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at this if he wants to stay in the championship hunt for the final round.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you what, right now, Marco Krisman has arguably the most momentum. Last 3 races, a win, a second place, and a second place. No one else has been on the podium all 3 races, all 3 last races. And so I would say Marco Krisman has the probably the best shot here at staying in the fight and maybe even winning it with 34 points down. That would be remarkable. And remember, before the US Grand Prix, he was 37 points down. If he somehow pulls this, turns this around and actually wins the championship, it would be arguably the turnaround of F3 history.
Well, the great thing is we hype this up as it's going to be, you know, history made in F3, and it hasn't even happened yet. That's how excited we are about it. But Alex Musica now starts a brand new lap time, currently P9 on a 108.464 in the McLaren. The only driver who hasn't set a lap time just yet is Jamie James. Everybody else has. Yoka has set his fastest lap on the medium tyres, but he's in 11th place, so he has a free choice of tyre as it stands, but I'm sure he'll go onto a set of soft tyres. In fact, if we have a look at him, those are the Red Bull soft tyres, so the tyre you're seeing beside each driver's name here on the stream is the tyre they set their best lap time on. So Yoka is obviously thinking to go for the soft tyre. 109.2 on the mediums isn't a bad lap time, so he should be well into the 108s on a brand new set of soft tyres.
Yeah, and he's preparing now onto hot lap mode. His watch is going to switch that to overtake right around when he switches into 7th gear. There you go. That's usually the trick that the drivers use, because the hot lap mode in the first 6 gears gives you a little bit more push, a little bit more power, but overtake is perfect, is the most power, the most torque that you get in 7th and 8th gear. So that's where you want to use it. And again, he does that, switches down to hot lap mode when he is, or up to hot lap mode when he goes down the gears, and then back down to overtake when he goes up the gears. Very, very interesting to see, with a little bit of high, a little bit of 3 as well, because you want to save some ERS, because if you run in hot lap and overtake through the whole lap, you are going to run out of deployment. The deployment is limited, and so you are going to run out of your possible deployment, energy deployment. Basically, I think the earliest you can do that is you're coming out of Junsao and you have almost nothing left. But this seems like good management here from Yoka the Gamer through the final corner, really the final corner, the final braking zone at the very least. And the dash to the finish line. 30 seconds left in the session, so this is his final shot right here. And he moves to P6, 108.3. Certainly a competitive lap time, but I'm pretty sure he was hoping for more, and he instantly retires from the session as he has shot his last shot.
Johan then making his way towards the start-finish line. Can he improve on a 107.9? No, he can't. He can't improve. Stays in P3. How about Table Clan in the Mercedes? Again, doesn't improve. Lost a 10th on that one. Slimbo now making his way towards the line. No, he doesn't. He abandons his lap time. So the checkered flag is out. and we've really only got Zenki out there on a flying lap. Marco Krisman is on provisional pole position with a 107.6. We've got Aero as well, my mistake. He's making his way now through turn 11, onwards now towards turn 12, and this is where it counts here. Get the exit right here, and your lap time could be a good one. Up the hill, up through the gears, through the left-hander, the double left-hander if you like, of 14 and 15 towards the start-finish line. He'll keep it tight to the inside wall, heading towards the start-finish line. 900ths of a second gets him up to P8, but no higher than that. Zenki, meanwhile, he's now making his way through turn 12. Oh, gets a big slide out of turn 12 there. So easy to do, but he's still on the flying lap. Will he abandon it, or will he keep going? He'll keep going then for the start-finish line, but he shakes it. I'm imagining there he's very frustrated with that one and just lit up the rear tyres out of turn 12, and that pretty much ruined the lap time. Alex Musica cruising his way back towards the pits, as is Johan there in the other McLaren. So that means then, in terms of the championship hunt here, Marco Krisman grabs pole position in Brazil, and it is Zenki who will join him on the front row of the grid. In terms of the championship positions, well, your championship leader has qualified in 8th place. 2nd place in the championship, Johan, is in 3rd place on the grid. Table Clan has qualified in 4th. He's 3rd place in the championship, but then 4th place in the championship, Marco Krisman puts it on pole position.
Yeah, we've seen Marco Krisman time and time again qualifying very, very well. This is his 5th race in a row that he's going to start from the top 2 rows, from 4th place or better, and it's his 3rd race in a row that he starts from the front row. He had pole position at the Mexican Grand Prix. He had 2nd place at the US Grand Prix last week, and he now has pole position again for the Brazilian Grand Prix right here.
Well, let's take you through the qualifying results here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Marco Krisman puts it on pole position with Zenki in 2nd place, Johan in 3rd, with Table Clan in 4th, only by 0.004 of a second. Slimbo is in 5th, with Yoka in 6th, Jaquita in 7th, with Aero 8th, Pitmat 9th, and Alex Musica rounds out the top 10. It's Gabri in 11th, and Jeremy James didn't set a lap time in qualifying in that session. But that is your qualifying results here for the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F3 League on the PS4. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win here tonight. Who are you backing for the Brazilian Grand Prix? And which of the 4, we'll call it early, which of the 4 do you think could win the championship? Not necessarily here, but when we get to the end of Abu Dhabi. You've got Aero there, who's qualified in 8th place. Austin, that's not where he wants to be, as the clouds are looming over the track, so the track temperature again will be down. What's going through Aero's mind if he's that far back, and he's obviously got Krisman on pole position?
Well, I mean, the 2 words that are gonna flash in front of Aero's eyes and his mind really are damage limitation. I think that's what it's all about. You have 11 points to Johan, you have 22 to Table Clan, and 34 to Marco Krisman. Just get a decent result, and the championship is still going to be wide open, and it's all for the taking at Abu Dhabi. Don't DNF. Out of the points is going to be difficult with 12 drivers, but don't DNF. Just bring the car home and get a nice, decent position, because it doesn't seem like he has the pace to do anything more than that.
Well, we make our way now on to the formation lap then. It is Marco Krisman who will lead the way down towards turn 1. And what's interesting about this one is it's one of those tracks, Austin, where the racing line is not towards the inside of the first corner. It's actually on the outside, but the theory behind that is you get more traction because you're on the racing line. But obviously, if you're on pole position, you want the best line into turn 1. Is that the best line into turn 1, lap 1, Austin?
I would say so, because you can still defend very well around the outside into turn 1, because turn 2 then comes around and is in your favor, and you have the inside for that if you're on the outside for turn 1. So if I had to choose, I would probably go for the outside as well. It gives you a better run. If you get a decent enough start, I think you should be able to keep the lead into turn 1.
Well then, making our way now in towards turn 10. Expect that to be an overtaking zone. as well as the DRS points as well. You've got 2 DRS points on the track, one across the start-finish line down towards turn 1, starting just before turn 15, and the other one is heading down towards turn 4. So expect moves to be done there because they're 2 separate DRS detection zones. So there is a detection point for each DRS zone around this track. So expect turn 4, turn 1 to be good overtaking opportunities, as well as turn 10. The tightening radius corner allows drivers to try and make it up the inside, but hopefully they won't end it like Lewis Hamilton did into the sidebot of Alex Albon in this year's race. But here we are, making our way onto the grid, and now taking our grid positions. We are moments away from the Brazilian Grand Prix here in the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F3 League here on the PlayStation 4, as Ian Motti has joined the session. He will take 13th spot then on the grid, and it is unfortunate for him, but let's see how he gets on in the race. But let's focus now on the red lights that Marco Grisman will be looking so ominously at. He'll be determined to get a great start here, but the lights start coming on here. It is 5 red lights. We are underway, and what are the starts like? It's a good start from Marco Grisman, a great start from Johan. Then as we make our way down towards turn 1, you can see a Racing Point and a Red Bull trying to dip out of the slipstream as we make our way through turn 2 and onwards towards turn 3. Looks like everybody's got through, and a clean start from everybody as we make our way through turn 3, onwards now towards turn 4. You can see that Grisman having to defend there, but Zenki's also got a load of Johan in his rear view mirrors as we head down towards turn 4, making our way through 5. A little bit of a mistake there from Zenki out of turn 5, onwards now towards turn 7 and 8, riding on board with Johan then. As you can see, Zenki playing it fine with the curbs there. In towards turn 8 we go, and Marco Grisman still leads the way then from Zenki. We've got Aero then, who's made his way up to 7th place, but look at the Racing Point of Yoka, still trying to move up the inside there, trying to defend that line. You've got the Williams there of Pitmat trying to make the move stick. He was on the grass on the exit of 9, had the inside line for turn 10, but he has to give way in the end. He's also got Alex Musica right behind him as well as we make our way in towards the final braking point on the circuit. But as we approach the start-finish line, it looks like it's going to be Marco Grisman leading at the end of the first lap, with Zenki in 2nd, Johan in 3rd, Table Clown 4th, Slimbo 5th, Chiquita in 6th, with Aero 7th, Yoka 8th, Pitmat 9th, Alex Musica rounds out the top 10 with Ian Motti, Gabri and Jamie James following close behind. A great start from everybody. Have a look at the Ferrari of Slimbo there, under attack from Chiquita as we headed into turn 1, but you've also got sorry, that was Table Clan there trying to defend as well. Jaquita now in towards the slipstream as we head now down towards turn 4. No way through for him, but he's got to be careful about that Racing Point behind. Alex Musica looks determined to try and get a position done here on Pitmat as we head up the hill towards turn 7. Then he's looking for the inside line, but has to back out of it. Pitmat gives him the room, though. Not very smart there, because Alex Musica is going to go for a move if you give him the room. But Austin, take this mic off me or you'll never get it off me.
Yeah, this is a very interesting start here. No one with issues, no one with damage. I was looking at the very back of the field to see if there's something happening there, someone spun or anything, but nothing of the like. And the interesting thing I see now is that Zenki is... He looks like he's in the danger of falling away from Marco Grisman, but he just stays within 7/10, 6/10 and always gets back. Meanwhile, Johan looking to the inside of the center S of Zenki there, but it wasn't there. Zenki will now have DRS at least to defend, maybe to attack a Marco Grisman, who didn't get the best run through the center S, but it is not close enough there. And do we have any other fights in the field right now? We don't
Alex
really.
Musica.
Oh, there goes, yeah, Alex Musica. Iamotti takes another position. 3 already since the start, so the Italian really on a roll here, as you would expect. He has shown time and time again that he does have the pace. He has won the Belgian Grand Prix earlier this season. He got a 2nd place in Germany. He got a 2nd place as well in Canada and in Bahrain, and 3rd places as well in Russia and Australia. So he knows how to be on the podium, how to get onto the podium. The question is, can he do it from 13th place on the grid?
Yeah, it's always going to be tough. He's also on the medium tyre, the only car there starting on the yellow walled tyres, but Pitmat's right on the back of Yoka here. He'll have DRS on the Racing Point. The Racing Point won't have DRS at all as we make our way in towards turn 1. Pitmat will have to go the long way round, but he's got that DRS, and down towards turn 1 he goes. Yoka will still try and hold the inside line. Pitmat gives him plenty of room, and Pitmat has the move done, but he didn't get a great run through turn 2. This is where Yoka could try and move back, because now he'll have the DRS on the run down towards turn 4. But look at Iamotti as well, starting 13th place, looking to take the slipstream of Pitmat, then the slipstream of Yoka, trying to now go round the outside at turn 4, but that door was always closing. Opportunistic is the word there, but now Pitmat and Yoka going side by side as they head through turn 7 with the Williams around the outside here. He's still there as we head towards turn 8, still Yoka on the inside line. Now into turn 9, the Williams has the inside line this time around, and he has to stay back there, does Yoka, as Alex Musica, again, the opportunistic moves there from Alex Musica in the McLaren, wanting to try and maybe open the door there as they headed through, but that's what they've got to be careful about here with Pitmat and Yoka battling away. It invites that pressure from Iamotti and Alex Musica behind.
Yeah, and I would reckon it's only a matter of time before Iamotti goes past both Yoka and Pitmat. We know how fast he is, and Yoka and Pitmat, they battle away, and they battle too much too early, it seems. They're losing time to the cars in front. The gap now between Pitmat and Aero is over 2.5 seconds already. So really not a good, not a good battle for the two of them if you look at the overall situation of the race. And for Iamotti, obviously he needs to find a way past so that he can maybe try to reel Aero and the others back in if possible.
Well, we're riding on board with Johan here as we make our way towards turn 10, and Zenki locking up into turn 1 on that lap, almost running into the back of Marco Crispin there, but just about kept it under control as Johan here tries to open up turn 12 as much as possible here with the sun beaming down here into your eyes as you exit through turn 12. Alex Musica picks up a 3-second time penalty. Zenki still right on the back of the Renault then of Marco Crispin as we head our way up towards turn 1. You can see here both drivers turning down their ERS as they headed in towards turn 1. Meanwhile, further behind, Jaquita trying to go around the outside at turn 1. He'll have the inside for turn 2. Oh, they come together, do Jaquita and Slimbo there. Made contact through there, but here comes Aero now, who will try and take these two positions away. He's got to time this perfectly though as the Mercedes looks to defend the inside line. Very smart there, but can he defend? Oh, they make contact there. Jaquita spins around and clips Slimbo as well. He loses a bit of front wing too, and that's a little bit of end plate chalked off there. Meanwhile, Pitmat still on the back of Yoka, but no way through for him this time around as they head towards turn 6. But look at Iamotti through 7 there. He wanted that move to happen. Wasn't going to happen. The door was always closing, and that just seems to be the mood for Iamotti right now. He sees those moves, but once he tries to go for them, the door just closes on him.
Yeah, and going back to the Slimbo Jaquita incident there where Aero picks up 2 positions, now up to P5, and I think that's something he's going to be really, really happy with. But back to the incident between Slimbo and Jaquita. I was watching from the onboard perspective of Aero, and to me it looked like Slimbo left him enough room, and Jaquita just... yeah, he made contact with the back, with the rear left wheel of Slimbo's car and then just spun. Is very unfortunate, but I don't think there's anything Slimbo could have done to avoid that.
Here's Zenki here looking for a move, switches back down the inside at turn 4. Bravery there as Marco Crispin and Zenki go side by side through turn 5. Up the hill they go towards turn 6. The Renault has the outside line there. Is he just about able to hold on? No, the Alfa Romeo tries to squeeze his way through up the inside at turn 7. He's got the inside line for turn 8, locking up there, and Crispin has to back out of that one. Zenki then takes the lead here in Brazil.
What an incredible move and what an incredible fight between the two. Now Zenki and Marco Crispin both missed the apex of turn 10. However, they do come back. That's incredible. Great racing. Look at Johan there braking on the... I don't know what that was. That was the grass there, really. I mean, it isn't grass. There is a bit of... I don't know what that is, but it isn't fully grass, but there is certainly grass on it. And... still trying to take every single bit of track limit that he can get and really widening those track limits as much as he can. Johan, so he's a jack of all trades, and he's shown that once again there with that racing line.
Absolutely, but Yoka here is right on the back of Pitman.
I think Chrisman and Zenki touched. They were both really unstable. Yeah, they were both really unstable through turn 4.
Johan around there, pretty much yelled right across you there, Austin, but contact made there in towards turn 6, and Johan, one of the championship contenders, finds himself spun around. Pitman now going up the inside in towards turn 8 there, but he outbrakes himself. Now he makes contact with the McLaren behind, but he just about finds his way through. Meanwhile, Aero's taken full advantage. He's now up to P3. Where did that come from?
You're asking me. I have as much of an idea of that as Aero probably has, which is none. He's probably as surprised as we all are, and he's just trying to make the most of it. He is under pressure from Table Clan and Slimbo, and he might be falling down to P5 sooner rather than later. But again, this is a whole point of damage limitation. Let the others make their mistakes and just drive on. And if they want to overtake you, look at this right here. Aero isn't going to defend it. The attack by Table Clan. Table Clan goes to the inside, and ooh, it gets close, but Aero gets the better run on the exit. Well, talk about not defending, he does. And now he keeps the position, still in P3. I mean, look, Table Clan still has to make the move if he wants to get the position. I mean, Aero isn't going to hand it to him just because he's on a damage limitation run here. Wow. I'm speechless. Kieran, you take over.
Well, Slimbo here, right at the back of Table Clan as well. He's trying to join in this battle. Johan made a good move into turn 1 to retake the position on Pitman after that spin. Currently in 6th place, but that is not what he wanted, to try and get as many points as possible. But Aero here, now right on the back. Well, 3 seconds now is the difference between himself and Chrisman. Chrisman, that's the last thing he wanted to see. He's going for a move down the inside into turn 1 on Zenki. Up the inside he went. He took no prisoners and took that position away. Zenki, though, is right on the rear diffuser of the Renault then. Chrisman goes to the left-hand side of the track to try and defend as much as possible. Here, down towards turn 4. Zenki's going to be around the outside here. I think he's going to be run out of road here. Yes, he is. A little bit of grass here. Chrisman defends hard and holds on to the lead of the race.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having these runoff areas. Marco Chrisman would not shove him wide there. If there was just a grassy surface, he would be very wary of not doing that. But with the runoff area, you can be a little more aggressive in your defending. And Marco Chrisman did exactly that and shut the door on the Alfa Romeo behind him.
Yeah, looking at Ian Motti as well, who didn't take part in qualifying, started 13th place up to 11th, but he seems to be a little bit stuck behind Gabri there, almost missing his braking point into turn 10, but managed to gather it back up. I mean, might just be waiting for the right moment at this time. But Zenki here in the DRS zone, right behind Marco Chrisman then, and Zenki isn't in a championship hunt. I'm pretty sure I know the words from Marco Chrisman right now, but Table Clan gets the move done on Aero down in towards turn 1. He now moves up a position, and Aero moves down to 4th.
Yeah, and I know that it's an unwritten rule that if you're a driver who's not in the championship fight, you should stay out of the championship fight. That being said, I think it's a bogus unwritten rule. Zenki, just fight for the win. Do it. Who cares? The championship standings. The one thing I would advise Zenki not to do, however, and I'm pretty sure he, at least I hope he isn't going to do it, is crash into Marco Chrisman, because that would be very unfortunate for both of them and for us as well to watch this race, because this is a brilliant fight at the very front there.
Absolutely, and there's also a great fight further back between 3rd place Table Clan, Aero in 4th, and Slimbo in 5th place. Yes, they're closing in now on Zenki, 2.6 seconds behind him now, as they're maybe trying to start working together. Aero will have a little bit of DRS now as we head over the hill. Meanwhile, Ian Motti gets into the points then. He moves ahead of Gabri into 10th place, but he has got a 3-second time. We'll see Gabri around at turn 12. And foot too hard on the loud pedal, and he spins the car around. He's reset to the track there. and will make his way
First
back
pit
around.
stop. We have Table Clan with a scheduled pit stop here. He's going on to the mediums. That's his first and only pit stop. So he's trying an undercut here, trying to get past Aero in the pit lane. I don't think that's the dumbest call. I think that's a really, really clever one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Table Clan actually gets the position once everyone's in the pits.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Lap 12 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Krisman leads from Zenki in second and Aero in third place. But he is under pressure from Slimbo as we head in towards turn 8, then through turn 9. Meanwhile, Yoka gets himself, as we see there, just a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, I imagine. It says multiple warnings, but we all know what that means as he tries to chase down Pitmat. But he's got Alex Musica for close company right behind in 8th place. Iamotti is in 9th with Jamie James in 10th, but he started on those medium tyres, so we expect him to go longer in this race. Meanwhile, let's jump on board with Slimbo then as he tries to chase down Aero. Now, who of them will come into the pits? Will either of them come in? Yes, Slimbo does. He sees Aero stay out, so he thinks, I'm going to come in. Meanwhile, look at this battle here. This is, I believe this is 5th place now as we head towards the line. Alex Musica right on the right-hand side. They're going to be 3 wide heading down towards turn 1 with a Red Bull looking to try and take advantage too. Pitmat gets the move done up to 6th place. There's contact again. Alex Musica is around. I think he lost the back end there and hit the side of the Williams, and that's front wing damage for him. I think he's retired from the race as he makes his way back onto the track. Hopefully he hasn't, but let's have a look and see on the bottom of the screen as he makes his way back around. Well, at the moment he's still there, so let's hope he's carrying on in this race. But he's left the session entirely. That will be why. I thought it looked a little bit weird to have that human jagging arms like that. It looked a bit weird to me, but anyway, he has left the session, so his ghost car will still go around, but of course he has to be in control of that car if he wants to be classified in this race. But that sort of looked like that Alex Musica just lost the back end. He went onto the marbles slightly, lost grip, and just hit the side of the Williams. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, what tends to happen if you do run into the side is Aero comes into the pits, and so does Yohan. I would say for Aero, it's a lap too late. He should have responded to Table Clan's pit stop 2 laps ago, 1 lap earlier than he now did, and he might find himself behind both Table Clan and Slimbo. Table Clan is ahead of Slimbo. Let's see. Table Clan comes through the center S right now. Through turn 1 and 2, Jamie James picks up a penalty. That's rather non-consequential, and Table Clan and Slimbo are both past Aero, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. 1 lap earlier, and Aero might still be ahead of the 2 of them, but now that they had the medium tire, the fresh medium tire, and he didn't, he was on the used softs, they got him in the pits, and he's now effectively in P5.
Yeah, but he's got Table Clan and Slimbo ahead of him, okay. But they're going to be battling against each other. Meanwhile, Iamotti is up to 3rd place at the moment, but he has yet to stop. But he's found a way past Pitmat then in that scuffle at the center S just a couple of laps ago. But Pitmat now tries to turn up the ERS deployment. Let's see if they come into the pits. Iamotti, no, he stays out. Pitmat then comes into the pits then from 4th place. Has to slow it down for the line there. It's a very slow pit lane when it comes to compared to the start-finish straight. Here is Slimbo looking in the slipstream of Table Clan, looking to the inside, down towards turn 1 he goes. Can he try and hold it all together? You can see the Mercedes there had such better grip through turns 1 and 2 there. Great stuff from Table Clan. He's able to hold on, but Slimbo once again will have some DRS down towards turn 4. Will Slimbo go for a move down the inside? He'll think about it. He'll think about it, but has to back out of it. Table Clan taking his line, and Slimbo would have had nowhere to go.
And I'll tell you what, I think this was smart from Table Clan. He saw the situation. He saw how far Slimbo was away, and he decided not to defend this because he knew the only way for Slimbo to get past is with an absolute dive bomb. And Slimbo decided to not go for that. And so Table Clan didn't really lose too much time. In fact, it's Slimbo who lost some time and invited Aero into the DRS range, at least for now. The question is, can Aero stay in that DRS range? Now the 2 leaders come into the pits, Michael Krisman and Zenki. Let's see where they come out. It might be that we see Table Clan very, very close to them. Iamotti takes the lead of the Grand Prix for now. Krisman still ahead of Zenki. So both pit crews doing a very good job. Here comes Table Clan through turn 1. You're one with the fastest lap of the race right now, 110.7. Expect that one to drop down a little bit further. And yeah, Marco Krisman and Zenki are back out, but I think the gap has closed a little bit. It used to be 3.5 seconds. It's now down to 2 seconds between Zenki and Table Clan.
Yeah, but what's important as well is that Krisman and Zenki have rejoined ahead of the yet-to-stop Ferrari of Jammy James. Table Clan, Slimbo and Aero are behind that Ferrari in question, so they have to pass him on track. I mean, if we look at the soft tyres, they're lasting around about 14 laps, maybe 15 laps at a push. So we wouldn't expect Jammy James in until maybe at least lap 20, maybe even lap 19. So they've got to get the move done quickly.
Yeah, Jammy James is going to stay out for the foreseeable future at the very least. Yeah, Monty comes in now, lap 16. That is the longest anyone has taken the soft tyres here in this race. So, yeah, lap 20, I would say, is the earliest we can expect Jammy James. So they have to find a way past him on track. The good news is they do get the DRS. And let's see if Table Clan can use it. I think he's still a little bit too far away there, meaning he will be held up as Gabri has retired.
Gabri retired there somewhere out in Sector 3, and that will end his day. So 11 runners left in this race. Meanwhile, Slimbo still trying to chase down Table Clan, but look at this. Table Clan drawing ever closer to the Ferrari of Jammy James as they make their way towards turn 8. Aero still right behind Slimbo, heading in through turn 9, and Table Clan here looking for that way past. Surely not a move down towards turn 10. No, he's smarter than that. He's more intelligent than that to go for a move that early on and that desperately. He doesn't need to do that move. He's not in that championship hunt, but he does want the win, that's for sure, as we now head in towards turn 12, the last braking point, as we now go through the gears, up the hill, into the sunlight there. You can see Table Clan already closing in on Jammy James. I don't think Jammy James is going to battle this too much. No, he does not. And Table Clan sweeps by with some DRS as they head now down towards turn 1. And that's going to be interesting. I think Jammy James is going to make it even easier for Slimbo behind him.
Yeah, he gives him the DRS now, and he's probably going to pull over to the side and make sure. Yep, there you go. This is not what we're used to.
There you go.
With Ferraris on that straight. If you think back just a couple of months, 2 Ferraris on that straight did not end that well. This time around, though, Jammy James on a different strategy. Oh, wow, Aero just sending one up the inside into turn 7. That was quite the move there. Was it turn 8? Hold on a second. No, yeah, it was turn 8. I'm sorry. My bad. I miscounted there. Wow. That came out of nowhere. But yeah, he got the move done. And probably to Jammy James' surprise, as well as Jammy James struggling with the rear end out of turn 12 there. And it's too early for him to pit. I think, yeah, it is. But he's probably looking already. He's probably gauging the situation and trying to get into the pits as soon as he can, because those medium tires by now should be quite warm.
Yeah, I was going to say the Jammy James. We'll cut back on that in a minute, because Johan has been setting fastest lap after fastest lap. He uses the slipstream of the Ferrari now. He's up to 6th place, trying to recover what he can from this race. Yeah, I can see why Aero just sent it down the inside of Jammy James in towards turn 8. You saw there that Jammy James let Slimbo through down the back stretch towards turn 4, and then went back towards the racing line to defend hard against Aero into 4. And obviously Aero wasn't too impressed with that and decided to launch one up the inside at turn 8. But yeah, that was real teamwork there between the 2 Ferraris. Jammy James held him back for about 3 corners.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Toro Rosso was still a Ferrari customer team, I think this may have looked a little bit differently. But they are no longer, and so that's going to be a hard defense right there. However, Aero is still well, he's not close, but he's within DRS range of Slimbo, who himself has DRS from Table Clan. So this seems to be the battle for third here, with Zenki and Marco Krisman still up the road, and the gap has opened up a little bit more again. Remember, it was just over 2 seconds. It even was just over 2 seconds when Table Clan and Slimbo both made the pass on Jammy James. But since then, it has gone up now to pretty much 3 seconds between Table Clan and Zenki, and 3.5 between Table Clan and Marco Krisman. So the gap is growing ever so slightly. Question is whether Table Clan can find some pace to reel those top two back in.
Well, we can see here Aero still on the back of Slimbo then as we make our way through turn 9. Up the hill we go through turn 10. And Table Clan just holding on to third place for now, but Zenki is still trying to close in on Krisman here. Krisman knows he needs a win. He really does need to win this race if he's got any chance of staying in the championship hunt. Meanwhile, Aero is down in 5th place at the moment, but of course, we've already seen, Austin, how anything in this it could happen in this race.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do some math in my head right now. Marco Krisman, at this very moment, would gain 15 points on Aero, bringing the gap down to 19. Table Clan would also gain 5, bringing the gap between Aero and Table Clan down to 17, and then Yohan would only lose 1 point because he also has the fastest lap. And so that gap would be 12. So we would have 4 drivers within 19 points if this is the final result. Of course, most likely it won't be, but my God, this is going to be an absolute nail-biter at Abu Dhabi.
Absolutely. Pitmat gets the move done on Iamotti into turn 4. Iamotti still on the back of him as we head through turn 6 and 7. But now into turn 8. He just can't quite slow the car down in time at turn 8 there, and has to back out of it. Aero, meanwhile, still on the back of Slimbo. Then up the hill we go, up through the gears we go, as we head now on towards 14, and then the slight left-hander, full throttle now as we head towards turn 15, on now towards the braking zone at turn 1, lap 22 here in Brazil. Krisman leads the way from Zenki in 2nd. Table Clan you can see just ahead in 3rd place, Slimbo in 4th with Aero 5th. Yohan is in 6th place with Jammy James in 7th, Chiquita in 8th, Pitmat in 9th, and Iamotti rounds out the top 10. Last of the runners, Yoka in 11th place. Meanwhile, Slimbo closing in on Table Clan, then the Spaniard in the Mercedes had to think about what to do there. He wanted to defend. You could see he was ready to defend as well in towards turn 4 if he needed to. Heading our way now through turn 6, then through turn 7, onwards now to the braking zone at turn 8. Slimbo's got to be careful here. Yes, he'll want to try and get past Table Clan, but he has got the championship leader right behind him who will be very eager to make up those positions.
Yeah, and if we know something about Aero, it's that he's very, very good at overtaking. We saw the move he put on Jammy James out of nowhere. He is one for surprise overtakes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds... Oh, Slimbo with a slide out of turn 12 there. That doesn't seem to have lost him too much time. He's still going strong there. No danger really from Aero. However, oh, Slimbo, I think he could have checked it up the inside, decides against it. And that might be a smart move because there's a second DRS zone coming now. And this one, Yohan, meanwhile, picks up a 3-second time penalty that isn't going to be too costly as of now. It wouldn't lose him a position. Here goes Slimbo. Looks down the inside, but it's not there. Has to stay behind, and again gets onto the grass there, onto the runoff area and a little bit of the grass as well, and loses a whole lot of time. And Iamotti goes past Pitmat. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, we are looking at this right here. Aero, Slimbo, Table Clan. Slimbo had the chance there. I think it was the right call not to go for it into the center S, because you have a second DRS zone coming right after, and you're making yourself vulnerable for that one. But he wasn't close enough on the exit of the center S to make the move into turn 4. Very, very unlucky for Slimbo there. He seems to struggle with his back end, and he needs to get this under control. He needs to cool down those tires a little bit. The question is whether he can.
Table Clan, you can see going defensive, making a move to defend and a move back to the racing line. That is within the rules and the regulations. Jammy James pits in on 22 lap old medium tyres, and will put on a fresh set of softs there to get himself to the end of the race. The Ferrari of Slimbo, will he try and move this time in towards turn 4? Again, very close to the back of the Mercedes, but still no way through for the Ferrari there.
Yeah, it's still plenty of time for Slimbo to find a way. However, he also has to look behind him, look in the rearview mirror, and see the offensively blue, almost, Toro Rosso of Viatiero. This is Aero goes deep into turn 10. My goodness, almost hit the back of Slimbo. Did he hit it? I don't think so. There's no damage on the front wing, that's for sure. I was on board and I couldn't tell whether he hit Slimbo or not, but I don't think he did. Iamoti's out.
Yeah, something happened. They were battling Iamotti and Pitmat through turns 4 and 5, and Iamotti found himself facing the wrong way. So something has happened between the two of them. Can't see what happened, didn't see it on stream, but I'm sure they'll be taking a trip to the steward's office. Slimbo there getting himself a 3-second time penalty as he still tries to chase down Table Clan, going down towards turn 4. But this just seems to be the theme. He's not close enough going into the braking zone at turn 4.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier the grip that the Spaniard, the Table Clan, seems to have in the Center S. Every single time he seems to have that. Maybe it's a setup issue for Slimbo, that the Table Clan just nailed the setup for the Center S. That could very well be the case. In which case, that makes it much easier to defend into turn 4. The other question then is, maybe Slimbo is better advised to actually go for the move into turn 1 if he can. Right now he seems to be too far away. Also doesn't hit the apex as well as Table Clan did. However, he does have the slipstream. Slimbo also seems to be slightly struggling on fuel. He has to watch out for that. There is a little bit of a fuel warning. We don't know how much he's down on fuel, but he is currently down on fuel regarding his target, so he has to save some in the final 11 laps of this race. And the question is, when is he going to try that?
Slimbo still no way through past Table Clan. Well, for Slimbo here, his best finish of the season was 5th place at the very first round of the season. He's currently running in 4th place right now as we make our way through turn 7. He would love to get a podium here, but he's got the Spaniard of Table Clan right ahead of him that will stop him from doing that for now. Aero still right behind, and Johan, who's been putting in lap after lap to catch these guys, now joins the fray for the battle for that last place on the podium. Chrisman still leads by 0.4 of a second with 11 laps to go, 10 and a bit if you're picky. Zenki still on the back as we make our way now through 13 and 14, onwards then towards the final left-hander of turn 15. You can see immediately Chrisman tries to break the slipstream between himself and Zenki on towards turn 1, and it's worked here once again, but Zenki still closing in. He's very close now to the back of that Renault. Meanwhile, Aero still on the back of the Ferrari. Slimbo still trying to find a way past the Mercedes. It's not happened for him just yet, but look at this run he's got now through turn 3. This has been a much better run now. Onwards towards turn 4. Surely he'll try and move. Table Clan this time defends the inside line. Slimbo has to go the long way round at turn 4. No way through, and Table Clan knew going down to turn 4 he had to defend that one.
Yeah, and a quick update for Slimbo on his, or on Slimbo on his fuel situation. I saw the yellow fuel warning blinking towards the end of the last lap, so it's going on and off, and again it goes on and off, so he's just on the brink of the target in terms of fuel, so he might want to save some, but he seems to be decently situated in that regard. Of course, you know, having a little bit spare to fight and defend would do well. However, he needs everything he has to stay with Table Clan. He's like, oh, Table Clan. That's a weird line to break the toe there. My God, I think he tried to pull to the left and then got a little slide on that to correct to the right side. He's lucky to not have hit the wall there. And now this time Slimbo with a really decent, it's not a good run, it's a decent run though. It could be good enough. Table Clan really defends to the inside. Is he going to open up the inside? No, he is not, but drifts over at the very last moment, and he is far ahead, far enough ahead to keep third place for now.
Pressure from Slimbo constantly on Table Clan there as we make our way towards turn 8. Jamie James has got ahead of Yoko then. Up to 9th place he will go. Slimbo again looking for that first podium of the season. How sweet it could be if he needs to get past the Mercedes of Table Clan. So we'll have to see how that goes. But Table Clan here is battling for the championship. The last thing he wants is to be involved with a battle for Slimbo here. He's got Aero behind him, which is good. Marco Kruzman ahead of him, which is, well, I think he'll take that one with a pinch of salt because Johan is also behind him, so that's really good for him so far. What he wants now is to just try and stay ahead of Slimbo and just try and ward off this attack. He's 5 seconds back from Zenki so far.
Yeah, the one issue, however, is that Slimbo does have a 3-second time penalty to his name, so even if he goes past Table Clan, he's going to drop back down the order unless Table Clan himself has a penalty. Here we go again. Slimbo, this time with a good run to the outside. Is he going to be shoved wide? Yes, he is. And he's not going to be able to stay next to Table Clan. Has to get back to 4th place behind the Mercedes. And he has to, again, wait one more lap to maybe attempt another one into turn 4. Because I doubt he's going to try it into turn 1, so turn 4 seems to be the better opportunity for the Ferrari.
Absolutely, but Slimbo has got to try and find that way past because he's under pressure now from Aero and Johan right behind him, who are very eager to take that position away. They want to get in front of Table Clan as well as they now make their way up the hill through the triple left-hander, if you like, through 13, 14 and 15, but Slimbo seems a little bit far back from Table Clan, a little bit further back than usual down towards turn 1. That's because Table Clan had DRS, I believe, from the ghost car of Alex Musica there, so he was able to stay much further ahead. But look at Johan here, right on the back of Aero, looking to cause as much trouble as possible here. You can see the Ferrari ahead, not quite got the run down towards turn 4, purely because Table Clan had DRS down towards turn 1.
Yeah, and that's sometimes you need those lucky strokes of fortune, and Table Clan got one there. Maybe it's a little bit of karma for some of the early DNFs he had in the season in Australia, in Azerbaijan, in Spain at his home race, and in Canada, where he had 4 DNFs in the first 7 races. Since then, not a single DNF. Always in the top 8 with 5 podiums in the last 7 races. Really a fantastic turnaround for the Spaniard in the Mercedes. And sometimes you need those strokes of luck, and he certainly got one there.
Well, let's see how they go now through the triple left-hander. Kruzman still leads on lap 31. We have 6 laps to go here in Brazil. Zenki is in 2nd place with Table Clan 3rd. We're on board with Slimbo as he looks for a move down towards turn 1. He's also got to watch out for that car behind Aero, who is very eager to take advantage of a battle that might end in tears. It hasn't ended in tears so far. Table Clan has done really well to defend. He gets a little bit onto the curb there, which could draw some momentum from him. Slimbo looks for a move down the inside, but again, Table Clan is driving the widest Mercedes Brazil has ever seen.
yeah, it really is. He's just defending very, very well, and he knows, he almost has a 6th sense as to when he has to cover the inside, when he doesn't. He judges it extremely well, how far Slimbo is behind, and what that means for his defense of Table Clan. Really a very, very good job there in 3rd place, keeping that 3rd place from the Ferrari.
And I hope you're enjoying this battle at home. So great to see so many of you enjoying such a fantastic race as they all now head their way through that triple left-hander. And again, Table Clan has got a good run out the final corner. Look at that gap he's pulled to the Ferrari behind as we make our way towards turn 1. In fact, that was his personal best in the race, a 10th quicker, and that was no doubt helped by the DRS he had on the previous lap. Still, he's able to pull out a little bit of a gap to himself and Slimbo. Meanwhile then, Aero's got to be careful about Johan behind, making our way now down towards turn 4, and again the McLaren there of Johan putting the Toro Rosso under pressure. Through turn 5 we go. Up the hill we'll go towards turn 6. That McLaren is looking for one move or another. Through turn 6, through turn 7. Johan knows he wants to score more points than the championship leader. This will be a crucial move, and more laps tick by. and then less points Johan has on offer at the final race. He'll have to work harder at the final race. He's got to get this move done.
Yeah, and he needs to make it quickly. There's only 4 laps. Once we come across the line, 4 laps left for these drivers to make some changes to the order, get some positions, or secure their positions in the case of Table Clan, in the case of Marco Prisman.
Here's Slimbo looking for a move now down towards turn 1. This was unorthodox, and Slimbo gets the move done in towards turn 1. Table Clan drops to 4th place, but he'll now have the DRS. Look at this. He puts up the ERS all the way to hot lap mode, then down to overtake. Heading now down towards turn 4, but it's not going to be enough for the Mercedes. Braking hard now into 4, and yes, Slimbo will stay ahead then in 3rd place, but this time Table Clan will have the DRS down towards turn 1 and down towards turn 4. How will Slimbo defend that one?
That's going to be the question, isn't it? Slimbo, all this time, didn't have to defend all too much. He always had the DRS to defend from Aero when there was some danger. This time around, he will not have any. All he has is his ERS, and that is quite low, as is his fuel. He's still on the brink of his target, so he's gonna have to somehow pull out a good defense. He has pulled a very good run out of the final corner. The gap 7/10 now. It's slightly coming down because of the DRS and because of the slipstream, but it's a really good gap here. Late on the brakes for Table Clan. That's how you have to do it. You gotta be brave there. Still half a second, 6/10, almost. Aero with a 3-second time penalty. That might be consequential. That's gonna lose him a position, possibly.
Possibly so, with Johan right behind. He's going for it down towards turn 4. Looks up the inside. Aero gives him the room there as we head through turn 5. Johan, that was a late decision there, but Aero gave him the room. Fair play to him. He saw him coming and just steered a little bit right into a left-hander to allow him to have the room. But Aero now, you can see, trying to defend the apexes. You're now in towards turn 9. Table Clan looking to still try and find that move back past Slimbo. No way through for him so far. And Slimbo, well, in theory, on paper, he might not have a podium at the end of this race. He could be further down the order. We'll have to see what that happens when we cross the start-finish line after the checkered flag and see how it all pans out. But there you can see Slimbo getting a little bit tail happy on the exit of 12. That will be an advantage to Table Clan as we make our way now towards turn 1. You can see now he's reeling him in with the DRS. Slimbo here looking to try and defend. Which way will Table Clan go? He almost runs into the back of the Ferrari there as the Ferrari runs deep into 1. Now going through turn 2 and then through turn 3. Table Clan will have a really good run there through turn 3 as we head now down towards turn 4. He'll have the DRS this time around. He goes to the right hand side of the track, has the outside line for turn 4, and the Ferrari has to back out of that. I'll tell you what, riding on board the Mercedes there, that was shades of Ricciardo and Verstappen at Baku. That really could have ended worse than it did.
Yeah, thankfully it didn't end like Ricciardo and Verstappen at Baku. The one thing I'm going to say, though, looking at Aero defending into turn 8 again, I talked about the judgment from Table Clan, knowing when to defend and how to defend. I'm going to pull a little bit into question what Aero's doing there into turn 8. I understand that a surprise move, it could be on there, but from that far away, you want every single time Aero gets there, Johan is a little bit too far away to pull a move like that. And so I really question the defense that Aero, he's losing himself time. However, he's now trying to overtake Slimbo into turn 1. He's got his wheels in there, but it's not going to be enough just yet. And he doesn't get that good of a run out of turn 3. And Slimbo has the DRS. Does he have the ERS? Oh, Aero goes down to 0. He needs to get the position. They're both on 1 penalty, if I'm correct. If my eyes don't deceive me and my memory doesn't deceive me, they're both on 1 penalty. So if Aero wants some more points and maybe a little bit more of a buffer going into the final race, he needs to make the pass on this very lap. Is he going to try it onto the start-finish straight? He's going to have one more DRS zone, really. And that's going to be the final one. but only up to the start-finish line.
Well, here we go then with Marco Grisman heading towards the line. He might be able to claim his 3rd or 4th race win of the season. Marco Grisman towards the line, takes the checkered flag in Brazil and wins race number 4 for the season for him, with Zenki in 2nd place. Table Clan will finish in 3rd, Slimbo 4th, Aero 5th, and Johan in 6th. They finish exactly how they crossed the line. Jaquita then will finish in 7th place as he makes his way towards the line. A little bit of a lonely race for him towards the end there. Pitmat will finish in 8th place, getting some points for himself and the Williams team there. Jamie James on the alternate strategy was going to finish in P9. Tried to help Slimbo as much as possible, and in the end, it almost happened for him, with Yoka claiming the final point scoring position. But your race winner, it was race win number 5. No, I've got myself confused. But anyway, race winner here in Brazil is Marco Grisman.
Yeah, race win number 3 of this season for Marco Grisman. And what a race it was. Absolutely fantastically driven from the Slovenian. And he gets the win, and he keeps himself in the championship.
That was crucial. A crucial race, and perfectly executed from Marco Grisman. He held off Zenki to the line there, and Zenki turned up the engine. I believe he got the fastest lap of the race, so he gets an extra point from himself. More importantly, he takes it away from that midfield battle there in the points in terms of the championship. But your official, unofficial results here for the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F3 League here on the PS4. It is Marco Grisman who takes the win in Brazil, with Zenki in 2nd, Table Clan in 3rd, with Slimbo in 4th, Aero 5th, with Johan in 6th, Jaquita in 7th place, with Pitman 8th, Yoka in 9th, and Jamie James rounds out the top 10. Alex Musica, Iamotti and Gabri all not classified in this race. What that means then for the championship, well, I'd rather leave that to you, Austin, because you're so much better at the maths. But from my understanding then, Grisman will earn yeah, exactly. 25, 18, 15, 12, 10. So, yeah, that's 15 points that he'll gain there on the championship leader, which is crucial. That takes him now down to 19 points behind the championship leader, with Aero finishing in front of Johan. That, I believe, will take him now 13 points clear of Johan, and Table Clan finishing ahead of the championship rival brings him closer together. I believe, Austin, if I'm not wrong, the top 4 are now separated by 19 points heading into the final race.
And you said you're not good at the maths bit. Yes, you are. You're perfectly right. 19 points between the 4 drivers. With Benidorm, 13 points from him, it's Johan. Another 4 points, it's down, it's Table Clan. And then another 2, it's Marco Grisman. Overall, 19 points between the 4 of them. And we have 4 championship contenders going into the final race. How much more could you ask for?
You really couldn't ask for a lot more, so hopefully you will tune in next week, where it will be a championship decider under the floodlights at Abu Dhabi. Austin, what a race we had. What an absolutely brilliant race. It's brought everybody closer together in the championship, all separated by 19 points. Really, they all have to go for the win at Abu Dhabi, and even then, for some, it might not be enough.
Yeah, even then, for Aero, all he has to do, really, considering that he's 13 points clear of the next driver, Aero really only needs a P3 to secure the championship. Everyone else needs to try to go for the win, and depending on which driver it is, they need then some. They need some other things to happen, but this is... I'm going to tell you right now, this is shades of 2010, where we had 4 drivers going into the final race and Vettel won his first world championship. We might see something similar here, something really just out of the blue, where Alonso lost it in the final race with a P7. I'm not trying to jinx Benidorm or Vietti Aero here, but, you know, I wouldn't want to be in first place in that situation.
Well, you'll have to tune in next week to find out how this exciting championship will come to an end in Abu Dhabi. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss that notification next week. You do not want to miss a second of that one. You can follow me on Twitter if you really want to. It's at KS McGinley. And you can also follow Austin Smith on Twitter. It's at the Badgerman, where the second E is a 3. Well, we've got to do a lot of homework now, Austin, because we've got to work out the championship implications. And for 4 drivers, I mean, it takes long enough with 2 drivers. We've got to do all 4 of them.
I honestly, with 4 drivers, I would just not bother, and I would just personally, I'm gonna trust my instant math skills to figure it out during the race, because with 4 drivers, the permutations are so many and so complex that I'm just not gonna bother beforehand. 13, 17, 19, those are the 3 numbers we have to remember. That's the gaps for Johan, Table Clan, and Marco Krisman. 2 via Tiero in the lead.
Well, hopefully you will join us next week for what should be an absolute classic to decide this F3 championship. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I'm Austin Smith.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.